Sister Silverine, Ambassador Extraordinaire of PAIN, Parental Alienation Awareness International Network, and we are talking about From Pain to Healing, where we're going to have a series of talks on Sundays from 5:30 p.m. to 6 p.m. on Sankhya TV. Thank you.
Sister Silverine, I want to thank you once again for sitting with me and having these discussions. And last time we left off where we were talking about the masculine and feminine energies in the individual. And we defined masculinity and femininity, and we established that it does not mean men and women, but rather it has to do with the energy present in an individual. Mm-hmm. Now, in terms of the individual himself, what happens when these energies are not in balance?
Nice. Interesting topic. Interesting question. So what happens when energies are not balanced? Then there will naturally be a conflict. Once anything is not balanced, it will be in conflict, sometimes with itself as well as with others. For example, each one of us, as we have made mention in the past episode, that we have both or all the qualities within us. And only when we come into a body, then we start acting either in the feminine aspect or the masculine aspect. But within the being that we are, all the sanskars, the personalities, your nature, your traits, your habits are there. But someone could be in, let's say, a feminine body, but having masculine qualities. So even though she is physically feminine, there is a masculine way of thinking, a masculine way of speaking. Her voice might be more masculine than feminine. And her way of thinking, her way of approach to things might be more masculine. For example, she may think that, I can do what men could do also. So because it's a she, feminine gender, she have all these male qualities, if you understand what I mean. And here she is married to another male. And of course, each male person think that they are the boss, if you understand what I mean. Boss means that they are the one who is in control. But if you have both husband and wife thinking alike, means both are having the same kind of mentality, same type of thoughts. And the husband expects a wife to think like a wife, which means more feminine. But here she is thinking like she is the boss of the home. So you cannot have two bosses in a home. Nowhere could be two bosses. Because once there are two bosses, it means there will be clashes. There will be conflict, which you cannot avoid. So once there is this imbalance in the personality of, let's say, the wife or even the husband, so it could be either or, either the masculine or the feminine. So whichever one has that imbalanced personality, it will definitely create conflict in the relationship. Sometimes you cannot avoid two people coming together having same kind of personalities. And if two people have the same kind of personalities, there will be crashes. Crash means there will be conflict. It is expected that a female act and think and speak and do everything like a female. Likewise, a male. But if either one of them are having both qualities, nature or behavior of both masculine and feminine in one, then firstly, that individual will be having a conflict with himself or herself. So the conflict does not start naturally outside, but within the individual first of all. Because if that individual is not having any inner conflict, any inner storms or battles within himself, then there cannot be an external battle. Because all the battles, all the conflicts actually begin within us. So let's say externally there are conflicts, there is crisis, there is situations. That is external. Let's say with someone else. But if I can take care of my own inner conflicts, my own inner crisis, then I will be able to take care of outside situations. So firstly, I have to start looking and dealing with what is happening within me, in my mind, my emotions, my feelings, in order for me to heal my relationship with someone else, whoever it may be, male or female. So it's an individual thing that is happening first. Because I am having a conflict with someone else, irrespective of my personality, it simply shows that I am having a conflict with myself, which is my own inner conflict. And I am not aware that I have a conflict with myself. But these inner conflicts that I am having with myself naturally will show in my relationship with other people. So once I have a conflict with someone, and I start blaming that one only, and that one is also blaming me, each blaming the other, and none is ready to take responsibility of their own conflict, then that conflict will continue, and it will start getting bigger and bigger, increasing, until sometimes it reaches the tipping point, as we say, where the relationship cannot continue. But the problem here is that none of the two parties are willing to take responsibility for what they are creating. A conflict normally is with more than one person. Each one can have their own inner conflict, yes. But unless I don't express my dissatisfaction with someone, that will then cause a conflict. Until that time, my conflict is my own. So here I am having my own inner conflicts, my own inner dissatisfaction, discontentment, and peacelessness, and so many things I'm having within me. But this is then expressed in the way I speak to others, the way I think about others, or my reaction to others. And then there is a bigger conflict. So everything starts from every individual. And if you know and you recognize that yes, you have a problem, that each one has their own individual problems, and each one start working on themselves and not looking at the other one have to change because I want him to change, or she have to change because I want her to change, the change will not come unless each individual start changing themselves. Because we cannot expect someone else to change when we ourselves don't want to change. The change must begin with me. And if I can change and I can start experiencing, living and feeling that peaceful, that calm, that serene, happy, joyous state of mind, then this is what others will see in me and start changing also. Just one example I have, I went down to San Fernando today, as I mentioned to you. And I was walking on High Street, and of course I go just like this. I don't have any other outfit. It's the only thing I wear. And people stop me and they say that, who are you and what you do? Because you look so radiant and you look so peaceful. And what school you go to? No, what religion you belong to? So I told them I don't belong to a religion, because I believe in living good. And my living good does not belong to a religion. It does not depend on a religion. And so we had a little chat there. And she began to realize that there is something more to religion. And she asked me, of course, address and phone number and everything of the center. So just how you look alone could tell what you are and who you are, what you are about. It's not how much you say. Because I could be talking to you about peace, for example. And I could teach you everything good about peace. But if I myself, I am not peaceful, then what am I teaching you? So when we talk about conflicts, everyone thinks that others are causing the conflict without looking at themselves. But the problem here is that human beings really does not know how to look at their own self. It is very easy to look at others and see the faults and the weaknesses in others, but it's difficult for you to see your own one. Do you know why? Because you are not looking at yourself. You are looking at others. And others are not looking at themselves, but they are looking at you. So, what meditation helps us to do is really learning to look at yourself first. And once you could look at yourself and see yourself and what is happening within you, once you recognize that yes, you do have a problem, and my problem is, for example, I am not ready to accept my husband's way or the way he thinks. So it means I have a problem. Because if I want to have a good relationship with this individual who I have chosen to be my partner, then I have to love and accept him for who he is, what he is, and how he is. That was my choice. I'm sure before you decide to go into the relationship, you all made those commitments. And if, for example, that other individual had changed the way you expect him to be, then simply sit together and discuss the matter between both of you, come to a conclusion, and then continue life and see how it goes. But always, you should always step back, sit down, reflect a little, and see where the problem lies really. Is it in the other individual or is it in me? And if we really sit down and check ourselves, we would realize that sometimes it is me and I did not know. And then we regret afterwards. And then we say, okay, well, I did not know, I made so many mistakes, and please forgive me, I will change, things like that, okay? And the other person forgive you. But then afterwards you repeat your mistake. And we have seen it many times. So they repeat their mistake and again they want forgiveness, and so life continues and they're always in this struggle and conflict and even violence, because each time you get upset and angry and aggressive, you are being violent with yourself. Because for us, in our understanding, violence is not only physical. Violence starts from a single thought. Each thought that you create that is influenced by anger, for example, just anger, that anger generates such an energy that it starts doing damage within you. And that damage is violence towards yourself. Think about it. Each time you get angry, see what's happening inside you. It simply shows that you are being violent with yourself. So violence starts from a single thought, and then it goes in your vision. The way you see yourself, the way you see others. You can even look at someone in a violent manner. Do you know that? Yes. Violence can be shown in their eyes. When someone look at you with anger, that's violence. Violence could be in your words. Abusive words are violent words. Words spoken under anger, under aggressiveness are violent words. And of course, that then becomes physical.
Now you mentioned that sometimes a woman might manifest masculine traits and that might lead to conflict in a relationship. Obviously, well, men have the ability to manifest or display feminine traits. Can you list some traits for us so we can better understand what is feminine and what is masculine?
Yes, sure. So, masculine trait, well, whatever, however they call it, simply means that individual have a nature of dominance. They always feel that they are the one who should be in control of the others. Dominance means that I am the one who is in charge, and no one should go over what I say. They want to have the first and the last say in everything. So masculine trait will mean that the individuals who have such nature always think that, I have the ability to do everything. It is connected a lot with the ego, together with their nature. So their nature then have that kind of egoistic qualities where they think that I can do anything and everything. And so let's say in a family, you have this mother who has this dominating trait, controlling nature, or an attitude of the one who is in control, even in control of her own husband, because you do find that also, So once there is this kind of nature and behavior in this individual, let's say a mother in a home, then that home will always have some kind of conflict. Because the husband in the home, the one who is supposed to be, let's say, the man as we call it, will also have, should also have that kind of nature. Because a man in the home is the protector, the one who thinks that or feels that, or should be the one who feels that I am the boss of the home. I am the man of the home. But if you have here the wife thinking and acting and speaking as though she is the boss of the home, as though she is the masculine figurehead of the home, then there will be conflict. And so some of the qualities of the masculine nature person is that they are very dependent. They want to work and they want to have everything for themselves. They want to accumulate, they want to acquire, they want to build, they want to construct and have everything as they want to be. They are independent in the sense that they can work and provide for themselves. They don't think that they need someone else. And they may or may not have another partner, and with or without a partner, they are still very independent, which means they feel that they do not have to wait on someone to provide for them. In a way, it is good if everyone could be independent, but at the same time, we should not be so independent that we lose our respect as a woman, as a feminine aspect in the home. So even though I am the feminine aspect and I am independent, I should still give that regard and respect to the boss of the home, the one who we call the father of the home, because a mother is a mother, yes, but a father is a father, no matter how he is. how is his qualities? He is still the father, and the father should get that kind of respect and regard that he deserves or needs also. So other traits of a feminine who has more masculine qualities is that she can drive, she can work hard, do hard physical labor. I don't want to describe the physical aspects, but more we are dealing with more the mental and the emotional aspect. And yes, this masculine thinking person will be less emotional in the sense of the feminine aspect. I mean, she will not be so soft-hearted, or she may not be so emotionally dependent on someone as someone who is more feminine. She will be more, I don't want to say hard, but she will be more strong thinking. She'll be a strong thinker. And her emotions and feelings will be more stronger, just as her body reflects. So she has these masculine qualities, and it also reflects in the way she thinks, the way she sees things, the way she speaks, and of course the way she acts. So understanding the qualities of the masculine thinker, the one who has, even though she has physical feminine body, but she has the mentality of the masculine character. So her way of thinking is to be independent, not expecting someone to be at her side all the time, like a normal feminine person. Very independent emotionally, mentally, spiritually, as well as physically. Because these masculine figures, even though they are in feminine bodies, they are also physically fit. And you can see them today lifting heavy weight. I mean, they can lift many chairs together, for example. They can drive truck. We have seen them driving truck also. I've seen women driving truck, in India also. Women drive truck. They are doing many masculine work that men would do. Nowadays, women can do also. We have seen that. And it is there. So understanding all of these qualities that exist in the masculine thinking person, being in the feminine body, understanding your own needs, understanding what you're also going through. I think these people are also in conflict with themselves. Because even though they are in a feminine body, their thinking is masculine. That alone is a conflict by itself. And many of them, they kind of suffer. They go through a different kind of suffering because they know that they are not very normal. It is not normal. And they know that. But how to understand themselves and how to accept themselves for who they are and how they are is kind of difficult. Because society is seeing them with a different vision. They are seeing themselves with a different vision. But it's difficult for others to accept them as they are. I have been living in Venezuela more than 20 years. And the truth is, I used to see everyone as normal human beings. I never knew the difference. I never knew that someone could appear to be like a feminine figure, but think totally masculine. And even her voice was masculine. I was scared at the beginning. I couldn't understand. She is a female. If you look at her, she is female. But when she speaks, the voice did not come out like a feminine voice. No? And then the way she thinks is not feminine also. And then the job that she was doing was not a feminine job. So these things happen because there is a lack of awareness. Lack of awareness means that individuals today does not understand themselves fully well. They don't know who they are. They don't even know what they are about. So when I start meditating, I start to understand myself more. I start understanding myself even better. And only when I understand myself can I understand someone else. And this is what meditation is about. Meditation is about understanding the self. So I now I invite you into a few minutes of meditation. So you sit comfortably and relaxed wherever you are. And just take a few minutes for yourself. And as you sit in this quiet and serene state, ask yourself, who am I really? Am I this body? Or am I something more than this physical body? And whilst I ponder over this question, I begin to realize that I am not what I see with this physical eyes, which is I am not this physical body. This body is made out of flesh and bones. It is made up of the 5 elements of matter. But who I am, it's not matter. As we call ourselves human beings, human and being, the human aspect is the physical aspect, but the being is that living entity, that energy that gives life to this physical body. And this energy, the being, is eternal, is imperishable, which means the being who I am exists constantly. This physical body is perishable, it's mortal, it goes back to the 5 elements. But who I am really never dies, which means I, the being, which is energy, I exist eternally. And I look like a point of divine light seated in the center of my forehead. I take my attention to the center of my forehead, between the eyebrows, and just at the back of the eyes. And there sits a beautiful being of divine light, a point of pure energy. And I recognize myself to be this beautiful being of light. That life, that energy force that gives life to this physical body. Without me, the being in this body is nothing. And as I begin to recognize myself, I begin to give value to myself. I begin to understand who am I really. I begin to understand what am I. And what is my purpose here? And that my purpose is not a physical one, but my purpose really is a spiritual one. And as you begin to understand yourself, you will begin to understand your purpose. Thank you. Om Shanti.
Join us globally every Sunday at 5:30 p.m. on Sankhya Television as Parental Alienation Awareness International Network, PAIN, presents Ambassador Extraordinaire, Brahma Kumari's Sister Silverine Mangru with the series From Pain to Healing.
This program is sponsored by Sampex Limited, networking societies for a better future.